Okay, let's call this meeting to order at 5:08. We've already done the pledge. We'll redo roll call just for posterity. Yeah. Director Pearson?
Here.
Director Pettit?
Here.
Director Story? Here. Director Sarno?
Here.
And Director Reed is here. Do we have any additions or deletions to this agenda?
The only other piece I think related with the chief's report is we added in, or we're adding in, Rachel has some information on the calls.
Oh,
So
okay.
kind of just go along with the
Okay.
chief's report, so.
Okay.
Okay. Does anybody have any conflicts of interest with this agenda?
No.
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 All right. Do we have any correspondence?
No, ma'am.
Any public comment? No public comment? Guests or presentations?
None.
Okay. Moving right along. Consent agenda. Something I saw in there. Checks, but I don't remember what it was. Does anyone have anything they want to pull from the consent agenda for discussion?
I have none. No.
Okay. Do I have a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented?
I so motion. I second.
All in favor? Aye. Motion carries. Okay, chief's
All right.
report.
Rachel, do you want to go over that, or do you want to, you'll notice we added into the packet, it should be in your packet after page 20, page 21, is the update of the calls to date.
Yes, hold on, just gotta put
Yep.
people and things down and
Thanks, Rachel.
all that stuff. So as you guys will see, we continue to, increase our response numbers drastically. We actually were down for the month of November at 73 calls, but during November we hit we hit 1,000, and then we hit what we did all of last year. So currently right now we're actually at 1,050 calls. For today, my report just shows to the end of November, which is the 1,034. Again, we're kind of nestled in that 3 calls per day, but as you can see, the number of overlapping incidents keeps going up a little bit. When I did at the beginning of this year, the end of the first quarter, we were roughly 26% for our overlapping calls. At the end of this report, we're now at 28% for overlapping calls. So we continue to just keep going higher and higher. EMS is still our highest call volume. So I still kind of have us projected to be almost 1,100, but at the rate we're already up on the month for calls.
Thanks,
So
Rachel.
Rachel, when you have this overlap, technically, if there is a unit still on scene regardless, and if it isn't complete and another one comes, it's still an overlap?
So these are within, I want to say it's like a 10-minute response time. So we're looking at the number of basically back-to-back calls for that, which is what this number reflects. When you pull the report, yes, as I actually dive deeper into it, there's about a 10-minute gap
Wow,
for
so
them.
almost a third, that's a lot, isn't it?
It is. It is, and you'll even see, so for Station 17, I don't have the numbers on this one, but just Station 17 in general for getting a call within their response area, it has also gone up this year. So it's not just Station 16 being out on a call and 17 needing to come into town. It's actually a call within their area.
Response area.
Yep.
Wow.
Any other questions?
No,
Thank you.
Thanks, Rachel. So just a couple other items we'll tie into before we jump into the rest of the part of it. As we shared Sunday in the work session, we're still continuing just the work and information gathering with James Vincent Group. So they'd asked for some additional financials and access to some previous audits. So I was able to provide that information to them and just kind of waiting to hear information back from them. So we had extended 2 conditional offers. One person firefighter has completed through the process and actually started on Monday. And we have another that's in the final phases of the pre-employment process. So hopefully by the end of the month, we'll see. Everything looking positive so far, so a spot to fill from there. And then firefighter Clausen, who's been in the Ames Academy, is set to graduate on Saturday, and he'll begin shifting on the 16th. So with getting all 3, that'll get us one per shift. Kind of along the same way, and we shared a little bit in the work session, is that we're kind of evaluating the current list that we have, because we know we have a few people in processes going on for potential spring academy and spring hirings in 2022. So we're evaluating the list of personnel or people that we have that have the certifications, and just evaluating our need to maybe enter into another hiring process that would potentially look at folks that have their firefighter 1, hazmat, operations, and EMT. So just kind of evaluating that to be able to respond to any, if worst case, if we do lose a couple folks in the next bit of hiring process, as we shared, we'll be kind of behind that hiring curve of being able to fill those. So just evaluating where we stand on that right now. I've been meeting regularly with the PFA chief and their operations chief just to keep them updated on where we are from staffing our rigs on that, kind of meeting that minimum staffing end, and staffing behind our battalion chiefs when there's vacancies. They're just having continued discussions about where we stand with our ability to continue to provide auto aid, closest unit, mutual aid, or the back and forth piece of that. So no changes and nothing substantial, just kind of having regular communications on that, just to make sure that we know where we are on that. The other thing that we're coming to find now, just with anything that we look at, is both apparatus parts and supplies, and then equipment, from our server to other electronics and other electronic related equipment. The lead times are getting farther and farther out. So we're gonna have to just kind of stay on top of things like deferred maintenance to the apparatus, or even having those discussions about when we enter into purchases for apparatus, just because the lead times are getting farther and farther out. So it'll just have to be something we continue to monitor and stay on top of as we talk to other agencies, and that competitive process of getting orders in and accelerating orders is starting to push things back even farther. So just something we'll have to keep our eyes on from there. The last thing is, as of December 1st, UC Health stopped with their posting their ambulance here. So we're just continuing to monitor on a call-by-call basis the response times for the ambulances. We don't really know exactly where they're coming from, but we've been working to make sure that we've implemented just some procedures for staff to know that if they get calls and if there's any anomaly where it seems like they're responding late, not responding on the radio, that type of a thing, that we can address those on a call-by-call basis through the process, through the NL-SARA contract has a piece in place that we can respond, ask for that information, and then try to take care of those things on a short-term basis. And we'll continue to track what that looks like going forward. So we haven't had any issues yet. Kind of started off slow with calls, but the last few days we've had quite a bit more calls that have generated that have been EMS related. So and that's all I have kind of for updates from there.
You even have like a program that you can see where the ambulance is?
We do. We can log on at any time and log into CAD, and then we can filter it by ambulances and see where they are and see kind of where they're posting. So at any one time or any point in time, we can see how many units are on, and then where they're actually physically located.
That'd be
So
nice.
it's just kind of one of those things, but it's through CAD, so we can either do it on the desktop or look at it on the NVT, so. And that was kind of where it was the first day, we were kind of talking about that and looking at them, and
Yeah.
it just happened that the very first call we had was with a unit that didn't show up on CAD when we looked at it, and you know if it was the timing of them logging in and coming on service or whatever it was. They didn't pick up on the radio as they called, and so there was a couple things that came out of that very first call, so we were able to send it across, and they're looking into it from there, so.
Yeah, we just have to see how
Yeah,
that all
absolutely.
shakes out.
Keep up to date on it real time and just see how those things go.
Okay. Is that it?
That is it.
Okay.
Thank you.
District business. Resolution 2021-08 concerning the adoption of a budget and appropriation of funds for fiscal year 2022. So, we need to suspend the board meeting and open a public hearing for resolution 2021-08. Do we need a motion on that, or?
Let's motion.
Okay.
Just in case.
Do I have a motion to open a public hearing?
I so moved. Go ahead, David.
I'll motion.
I'll second it.
Okay. All right, we now are in public hearing. Does anyone present have any comments
At 5:20.
on the, at 5:20, thank you. That's why you're secretary. Keep me in line. Any comments on the budget as presented? You want to see a copy? Or,
I'll just listen.
okay. If there is no public comment, we will close the public hearing at 5:21 and resume the board meeting for discussion of resolution 2021-08. Find the whole resolution.
Starts on 22.
22. Anybody have any discussion?
I've done.
Nope.
No? Okay. Then, the board needs a motion to approve a combined resolution concerning the adoption of a budget and appropriation of funds for fiscal year 2022, which is resolution 2021-08, summarizing expenditures and revenues for each fund and adopting the budget for the Wellington Fire Protection District for the calendar year beginning on the first day of January 2022 and ending on the last day of December 2022. And also a resolution appropriating sums of money to the various funds in the amounts and for the purposes set forth below for the Wellington Fire Protection District for the 2022 budget year. And Do I need to read the last page of this?
No, ma'am.
No. Do I have a motion?
I so move.
Second?
A second.
All in favor, we'll do a roll call vote. Director Pearson?
Yes.
Director Pettit?
Yes.
Director Story?
Yes.
Director Sarno?
Yes.
And Director Reed, yes. Adopted and approved. 8th of December. Okay. Okay. And the next resolution is Resolution 2021-09. Resolution levying general property taxes for the year 2021 to help defray the cost of government for the Wellington Fire Protection District for the 2022 budget year. We'll leave the regular board meeting and open a public hearing for discussion of the resolution on mill levies.
I so motion.
Do I have a second? At 5:25.
I'll second.
Thank you. Anyone have any comments on the resolution to adopt the mill levy? Okay. There being no public comment on said resolution, we will close the public hearing and re-enter the regular board meeting at 5:26. Does the board have any questions or comments about the adoption of the mill levy?
No.
No.
Okay.
I'm gonna just point out that in that section 1, we did note that it's 15.070 on that mill, as we discussed in the work session,
Yes.
to appropriate that over to the rebate.
Yep. So, and I can
Yeah, you'll have to go through the reading of it.
add that. Okay. So, we need a motion to adopt the resolution levying the general property taxes for the year 2021 to help defray the cost of government for the Wellington Fire Protection District for the 2022 budget year. The mill levy is proposed to be 15.070 mills upon each dollar of the total valuation for assessment of all taxable property within the district for the previous tax year. Do I have a motion?
I so move.
Do I have a second?
A second.
Roll call vote. Director Pearson?
Yes.
Director Pettit?
Yes.
Director Story?
Yes.
Director Sarno?
Yes.
Director Reed, yes. Okay. Next We have a resolution 2021-10, a resolution for the regular election to be held May 3rd, 2022, appointing a designated election official and authorizing the designated election official to cancel the election should there be no more candidates than there are open positions.
Very well.
Thank you. Okay. We'll suspend the regular meeting and open a public hearing for consideration of Resolution 2021-10. Does anyone have any comment on?
First, we gotta go to a motion. I so motion.
Sorry.
That's okay.
I'll say it.
After, they all run together.
They do.
5:29.
At 5:29. Okay. Does anyone have any comment on Resolution 2021-10?
No.
Public.
Public.
Not
Like
public.
you said, it's all running
I guess you
together.
got
Still
censured,
don't.
didn't you?
Well, after 3 resolutions in a row.
They do. They run
Okay.
together.
There being no public comment, we will close the public hearing portion of the meeting at 5:30 and resume the board meeting. Okay. We have a resolution for the regular election to be held May 3rd, 2022, appointing a designated election official and authorizing the designated election official to cancel the election. The Board of Directors name Sue Blair or a designee as designated election official for the regular district election scheduled for the 3rd day of May 2022. And we authorize her to cancel the election should there be no more candidates than there are open positions. Do we have a motion to that effect?
I so motion.
Second?
I'll second.
Okay. Roll call vote. Director Pearson?
Yes.
Director Pettit?
Yes.
Director Story?
Yeah.
Director Sarno?
Yes.
And Director Reed, yes. Motion carries. So, I just have one question on the schedule. The yellow highlighted, the bright yellow highlighted info
Right.
seems to be specifically for metropolitan districts and doesn't impact us. Okay. They have their own timelines.
The soonest we can start accepting self-nomination forms are January 1st. I'm working with Ms. Gonzalez to provide a couple of public forum opportunities for our candidates that want to participate in like a candidate forum. In addition to that, we're considering a special district 101 open house to inform potential candidates of the roles and responsibilities that come with serving as a special district board member.
I think that's a great idea. So, they know what we know.
If they'd have done that, then I'm not so sure.
Yeah, back in the dark ages, it wasn't quite
That's a good point.
the same.
Good point.
Okay, well, I think that's a great idea, and I think the board as a whole would encourage that, so just keep us posted, so those of us who have to run again can attend.
Well, and we would like to invite the current board as well, so that the potential candidates that have not served on a board before have the opportunity to meet with the board members who do currently serve. Ask questions, get to know who you may be sitting with at the table, that sort of thing.
Okay. That sounds good. Okay.
Are you also gonna have something there that explains the limitations by state statute as to financial boundaries and that type of thing?
Yes, the idea is that when the people pick up their self-nomination form, we'll have like things that you should know and references that they can go to get more information.
Okay.
And then additionally, after the election, SDA and a few other places will have opportunities for like board member 101 that will encourage them to attend.
And maybe go over with the whole staff too, the limitations that the state sets as far as using the district's computers and printers and that type of thing.
Sure,
Okay?
thank you.
Yep.
Oh, yeah, throughout the election,
Mhm.
all of that. Okay. Does anyone have any other items for
The
discussion?
only last piece is item 7 is just there's a proposed calendar in the, as the last item, on page 38. So final page of it's the proposed scheduled meetings for 2022.
Oh, yeah.
You notice a couple of tentative work sessions put in just based off of some of the discussion that's come forward, so let's see, let's go forward.
Excuse me.
So the required board action this evening is the board will need to make a motion for the January board meeting, and then we'll adopt the calendar in January. We, staff wanted to have the calendar in front of the board in case there were any changes that they wanted to have, so we would be prepared for January. If the board doesn't have any requested changes, the calendar you see before you is the one we'll request for adoption in January.
I don't see anything that jumps out as needing a change, at least as far as the scheduled board meetings and work sessions, are flexible.
So I motion that we set as January 12th, the regular board meeting to be held at Station 16 at 4 o'clock. And then we'll approve the whole year then at that meeting. We can approve the whole year, yeah, currently.
So we're gonna have all meetings over here from now on then? Does that sound?
Well, at least for now, we've had discussion about 17 and whether it's appropriate to, hold the station, do that, and we recognize that there is a desire to do some of them there, and especially for the pension meetings, but we'll have, I think we have some further discussion about whether we can, house it appropriately and do that. I think we've got some other discussions down the road about what work might need to be done there and where that time frame comes, but
Okay.
for being able to record, broadcast, be able to have appropriate meeting space.
Okay, so you motioned, we need
Yeah.
a second.
This is, it's just approving the next meeting.
All in favor of
Aye.
January 12th?
Aye.
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 Director Reed, who was the second on that motion? Oh, thank you. You're so quiet over there.
He is.
Took us years to train him that way.
Okay.
Because in the agenda, it says next board.
I didn't catch, I just saw it
It
after we
says
do it.
January 5th.
Yeah,
so-
it was just,
okay.
we caught the wrong Wednesday.
Gotcha.
So,
Okay,
and I didn't catch it till just now. I was looking at it too, going, that's the first one, not the second.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so. And do we have any calendar items, things we need to consider for the January meeting, or
Nothing else, no.
no, just
Yeah.
self-nomination forms and that sort of
We'll be
thing?
going from there.
Okay. All right. If there are no other items for discussion, I move we adjourn.
I have no other.
Okey dokey.
All right, all in favor?
Works for me.
Aye.
You second that motion?
Yeah, I think that was kind of like
Oh,
it
yeah.
works for me
Yeah.
as a second. I think that's how we took that. 5:39.
Yeah.